Welcome back, friends. Chad here.
And Dustin.
And on this episode of Geek Out, we're going to be talking about some of those Super Bowl commercials that we saw. So there was a couple of trailers that were released that we're going to talk about. Civil War.
Yeah.
The Ninja Turtles.
Uh-huh.
Out of the Shadows, I believe is the title of it.
Think so.
XMen Age of Apocalypse, or just XMen Apocalypse.
XMen Apocalypse, yeah.
And then we're going to talk about the two Batman and Superman trailers. Can you really call
those trailers?
No, not really.
No.
Because they really showed nothing about the movie. So.
No, not really. It's perfect. You know, that's perfect for me.
Right. So Dustin doesn't normally like to watch trailers, but I made him watch these trailers.
Yeah.
So which one do you want to start with first?
Let's start with the Civil War trailer.
All right. So there was a lot of cool things that went on that Civil War trailer. It was only about like 25 seconds worth.
Yeah.
But
they keep them tight because it costs $2.4 million for a 30-second spot this year.
Did you see the Coke commercial with Ant-Man and Hulk?
No.
I'll have to show that to you. You want to talk about dropping some money just for the product placement? Oh my god. That was ridiculous.
They tend to do that.
So one of the things that we saw was Ant-Man's new costume.
Yes.
Which was pretty slick. It was basically the same, just a lot more streamlined. It looked like they got rid of a lot of the extra piping material that he had in his original costume.
Yeah, his first costume looked like a really good cosplay.
Right. It looked like a motorcycle suit that someone completely custom outfitted.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
But this one, especially his helmet. His helmet was a lot more
There's
like
stuff on it.
Yeah, well, it was a lot more like streamlined in the fact that it went back and then like the antennas were kind of towards the back instead of in the center of the helmet.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and then Hawkeye also has a new costume in this one.
I'm sure you're ecstatic for that.
Ah, right, because I just finished doing the Age of Ultron one. Mm-hmm. But it looks like they're actually giving him some purple, which is nice.
That's fucking finally.
Because I'm tired of this, like, decide what you want. Is it maroon? Is it red or purple? Just pick one and go with it at this point.
Yeah, no kidding.
But I'm hoping that we get that shot where Ant-Man's on top of one of his arrows when he fires it. Like, that's what I want more than anything, is just to see that shot.
So sick. Yeah, I'm really hoping for that.
And then we get to see Iron Man using that weird temporary gauntlet thing.
Yeah, it was like a
minimalist glove, right?
It was like so edgy and like early 2000s.
But you see Bucky go up to him and he puts that on and then he grabs the gun and when it fires, you can see Tony's like, holy shit! I did not think he was gonna fire that gun. Yeah. So like, you totally understand when Iron Man comes breaking into that room and he was just like, bitch, your friend over there started some shit.
Like, I'm sorry, Tony, but he's my friend.
When were they ever friends?
They were never. They had a barely cohesive agreement to not fight each other. That's all the Avengers was. Okay, I don't like you, you don't like me, but we're both good?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we have to chop some wood, so apparently we got to get together.
Where the fuck is Spider-Man?
You know they're not going to show that until the actual movie, right?
If that's going to be like their, like, oh, this is our teaser at the end kind of thing. Yeah, that they always do. Except for during Age of Ultron.
What was during Age of Ultron?
They didn't have the ending teaser. They're like, oh, we snuck it into the middle of the movie. I'm like, that is part of the fucking movie!
Shit. Well, you know, Josh Whedon originally wanted Captain Marvel and Spider-Man to be on the new Avengers team at the end of the movie, right?
Well, that didn't work out so well.
No, and of course, right after the movie's done, it's like, oh, guess what movies we're making now? Son of a bitch!
No, Josh.
And it's so weird not seeing Hulk in this movie, you know?
Yeah, I don't get that, because Tony and Bruce are supposed to be like science
BFFs,
best friends, science bros. And then it's the same thing they kind of had to explain away for like Avengers. It's like, where the fuck is War Machine?
No,
they need to address these kinds of things.
I'm dropping tanks.
I'm a little bit worried that he's dead.
I don't think he's dead.
You don't think
but it's
he's
really
dead?
weird because in one of the previous trailers, you actually saw Bucky like going for the arc reactors. Why would he be? That's what I want to know. Is like, does he know that that's like their kill switch? Like, oh, I'll just take this and the suit's not powered anymore. Or is he doing that for a reason? But how would he know? How would he really know? Do you think he's just been like, oh, let me just Google Stark and the arc reactor?
Well, when you're like, say you're playing video games.
I knew you were gonna bring that up. It's like, always go for the giant glowing thing.
It's true. You always do go for
When has
whatever's
Bucky
glowing.
been playing video games?
He's had a lot
Within
of
the 70
downtime.
years on ice.
Well, since he's been in that bunker, I'm sure he's had a lot of downtime.
So we also get to see Black Panther.
Yes.
Which is super slick. And I am loving the fact that they actually, like, I don't know what to call it, kind of like mirror lens the eyes. You know how, like, all the interpretations that we've seen of Batman, he just has, you know, it's just the costumes broken out right there, and you actually see his eyes. And for the longest time, I want to see, like, the mirrored lensed eyes, because it looks so much more menacing. I mean, look at Black Panther. He's got the gold mirrored lenses, and you're like, wow, I don't want to fuck with that guy. He's pretty menacing looking. We do see a couple of shots with him. I don't know if it was in this trailer or one of the previous ones, but where he's actually chasing down Cap. And if you look really carefully on the lineup, when it's basically like, oh, here's Team Iron Man and here's Team Captain America.
They made it very clear.
You can see slash marks in Captain America's shield, which obviously that's got to be Black Panther's doing, because his whole thing is made out of vibranium. His whole thing. Wow. His whole costume. His whole thing. His whole, I guess, accessories and part of his costume is made out of vibranium, so that's really the only thing. Because they basically made vibranium the adamantium of this universe. Because vibranium really was like, oh, it can only repel things, but they're just like, oh, it's fucking indestructible.
Yeah, well, when they lost the ability to use adamantium, I mean, why not?
Right. Because, the original shield was, like, it was a mixture of adamantium and vibranium to make it impenetrable.
It was an alloy of some sort.
Yeah, which made more sense for Ultron, because that's what I think when in the original, that's what he made his new body out of, was adamantium.
Yes.
So...
I think so.
So that's kind of it for Civil War. Let's move on to... Let's do Ninja Turtles next.
Yes.
Out of the Shadows.
And here's the thing with the Ninja Turtles trailer. I didn't watch the first Michael Bay movie because it's like...
Right.
And then I think a lot of people felt
the same way.
Right. So Michael Bay's like, you know what? Fuck it.
Just give them everything they've ever wanted. Throw everything in there that you've never seen before.
Manhole covers. We're gonna fucking throw this Krang in there, and we're gonna like get your bebops and your rock steadies.
Get your bebops and your rock steadies. So there's something really funny that Stephen Amell actually did, because I don't know if you're familiar with Andre from Black Nerd Comedy.
Yes.
Really funny guy. So like Stephen Amell actually, I guess, tweet him the trailer, and he was like, this one's for you, Andre, because Andre the whole time was just like, man, they gotta put Krang in there, and they gotta have I'm like, the whole time that's like the main thing. He's like, man, if they put Krang in there, game over. And Andre, you were right, the Krang is in there. And I mean, they did the full thing, and they didn't do obviously the suspenders bit, but like it's the Bandroid, like that's what he's got, the Cyclops eyes and everything. The face is there. Like they didn't pull any punches. That is what it was.
It's straight up Krang. I couldn't be happier with the pizza van.
That's gonna be
destruction.
That's like straight out of the toy line.
Yeah.
But I think even the turtles themselves look a little bit better this time around. Their colors are much more vibrant. And they lost a lot of the really dumb accessories that they had in the first. Like, friggin' Raphael had, like, these impenetrable adamantium, like, sunglasses that were just stuck to his head the entire time. You know, they're flipping off of trucks, going down a mountain, and these sunglasses are still magically placed on his head. I'm just like, what the fuck, guys? Come on. So those are gone. Thank goodness. And I think they kind of even slimmed him down a little bit, because they were just so bulky. And, like, how are they supposed to be ninjas? How are they supposed to be, like, silent and go through the night when you're, like, giant freaking Hulk-sized turtles?
Yeah, I
drove me crazy. But, even the, like, the noses and the mouths, I think they kind of, like, squinched them in a little bit more. Try to give them... They're still not quite there yet. They're not quite there yet, but it's better.
Definitely better.
And we've got Bebop and Rocksteady. Like, they've never been in a movie before. Krang's never been in the movie before. So, like you said, he's just like, you know what? Fuck it. Just give them everything they want.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and for me being a wrestling fan too, I'm just waiting for there to be crossovers from because Sheamus, the wrestler, is Rocksteady. So I'm expecting him to have some sort of fight with Steve Amell because we know Steve Amell likes him some WWE wrestling spots because he was at SummerSlam.
Is Stardust gonna be there?
Oh, he would have to be.
Yeah.
I mean, Stardust and Amell are mortal enemies, of course, but they do a lot of good work for like charities and shit on the side.
I'm still trying to get used to him being Casey Jones because I mean, nothing against him. I love him as an actor. I love watching Arrow, but I don't. When I think Casey Jones, he's not the guy that I think of.
He's not grungy enough?
Yeah, I think that's more the thing, because, like, Casey Jones, man, he was like, I'm born on the streets, I'm a badass. The only thing I got to kick people's ass with is a hockey stick, but I'll make that shit work.
Cricket bat.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, cricket bat, too.
It's like, what's cricket?
What's cricket, man? You want to play some cricket? The only thing that I'm really concerned about is that they're throwing too much at us in this movie. Because Krang's kind of a big deal. The Technodrome is a big deal. Yeah. And I don't want those to just be shoehorned in at the last minute of the movie, because we already got Bebop and Rocksteady.
Wait,
Shredder's
you mean,
back.
Like fucking Dinobots and Age of Extinction?
Yeah, without any like who are they? Why are they here? They weren't even called the Dinobots in that movie. Like, you didn't even know what their names were. If you walked into that movie without any preconception of who the Dinobots were, who Grimlock was, you would have no clue. Because they never say their names. And that's what I'm really hoping doesn't happen with Ninja Turtles. Like, I want
me off so bad.
I want them to have a reason to be there. I want these characters to have meaning. I don't want it just be just for the sake of visual flair. You know what I mean? And speaking of visual flair, let's move on to XMen Apocalypse. That movie, to me, and this hurts me to say because I really liked First Class.
Yes.
And then I liked Days of Future Past. I didn't like it as much as First Class, but I liked Days of Future. Honestly, everything that we've seen from this movie so far is like, if a guy was going to work at a digital studio for visual effects, everything in that movie looks like something that'd be on somebody's demo reel.
And I might be the one who's just unimpressed overall.
Right. From
Apocalypse. I don't like how they designed Apocalypse.
You know, I see where you might have trouble designing him, but I agree that that's probably not the strongest design choice. And I believe it's the same actor who plays Poe in The Force Awakens, and I'm not saying that he's not a good actor, but again, I think it wasn't the greatest casting choice for him, because he's not... I don't see him as overly intimidating. You know, it's like when you're trying to make this overly buff character, but you cast kind of a scrawny guy for it.
Honestly... I've seen people pull it off. I've seen people pull off the costume.
You've seen cosplayers pull off
I've seen cosplayers pull off a better fucking Apocalypse than a multi-million-dollar movie, right?
Right.
And so that's part of what ticks me off. The other part is that he looks like Ivan Ooze.
That's something a lot of people have been saying. And then it goes back to that like stage photo that they released where there was like that purple tone on him, but he's not purple. He is blue, because you could also see the purple tone kind of on Storm that was standing next to him. So that like immediately, I don't think they're ever going to recover from that. No, because that was the first impression we got of that character, and everyone's just like, it looks like fucking, which it does. Yeah, he really does. He really does. You know, just take the purple out of the equation. He does look like Ivan Ooze. And well, like I said, we saw Psylocke, who her costume's like straight out of the comics.
Yeah, that's badass.
Yeah, I mean that was pretty cool. Storm looks really cool.
Yeah.
Angel/Archangel, I was not really impressed with. Especially, I don't think it was in this trailer, but it was a previous one where again, it just to me it looked like, oh, check out my demo reel. It's got some visual effects stuff on there, and it's just like when Angel shows up and flaps his wings open.
Like, look at me, I have wings.
It
basically,
looks so fake. And I think that's one of the biggest issues with movies in general that rely so much on visual effects, that there's nothing to ground you in the believability of what's going on. When you have a whole city that looks like it's being sucked into a black hole, you got people doing triple flips, cutting cars in half, you got a guy with robotic wings, like there's nothing to ground you in that world whatsoever. And I liked it when they used like actual prosthetics for Beast. I really like that they still use, makeup for Mystique, which it's kind of weird that we see her throughout the trailer mostly just as Jennifer Lawrence. Like, here I am. You pay for me to be here, so you better not put me in blue makeup because I cost a lot and it's on my time now. So, but we did see her when she was getting like grabbed by
wrecked.
By Apocalypse. But having her being the leader, like when has that ever been a thing? In what comics?
Well, she's oftentimes whenever Magneto's in trouble. been the go-to number 2.
But she's leading the X-Men in this.
She's
leading the young X-Men. So the last thing, and again, it's not that I'm gonna still go see it.
Yeah.
Because it's cool that we're getting an Age of Apocalypse story, and my hopes is to one day get X-Force. Because that would be cool. Specifically if, like, Deadpool does well.
I heard that they're thinking about doing that as, like, a TV show.
Right.
Or maybe they'll try to, like, talk Netflix into doing something like Marvel's doing and make those half-season miniseries type ones, like Daredevil.
The problem is like, if they do X-Force, I'm going to want Deadpool in there. And then, of course, you know...
Then it's got to be on Netflix, because they're the only ones that are going to let him do what he wants to do.
Exactly. But the other thing that I'm really not okay with is the fact that, yet again, we're getting bland X-Men costumes. And I'm not talking about...
What are you expecting? Yellow spandex?
This is supposed to be, I believe, set in the 80s. So if you're going to do something a little bit weird and outlandish, this is kind of the perfect time to do it.
Early 90s, late 80s.
Right.
Definitely.
Like, this is the time that you can be a little bit more playful with the costumes. Because
got some jelly bracelets in there.
Magneto, he's got, he's one of the Horsemen, so he's got a really cool costume that's harkening back to somewhat of the old comic books, especially with the color scheme.
Yeah.
Psylocke being one of the Horsemen of the Apocalypse, Storm and Archangel. So their costumes are a little bit more ornate, they're a little bit more colorful. But then the X-Men is just black armor.
Yep.
It's so boring.
Since the first movie, that's what we've had.
And even you throw Nightcrawler in black armor. It's like you ruin one of the coolest things about Nightcrawler. Don't stick him in like weird motorcycle bulky armor. That doesn't fit well with his character scheme at all. Alright, so the last one on our list is going to be the Batman and Superman trailers, which there were 2 of them. And you can't really, like we said earlier, can't really even call them trailers.
No, they are, I mean, like, this is like crazy product placement advertising for Turkish Airlines.
What the hell, man?
I don't really understand why at all.
Why do they even need to do that kind of product placement? Are they stretching for money that much? It's like, man, that Doomsday scene, if you want him to look like more Doomsday, then we gotta go back and re-render him again, because...
Think about it this way, man. Think about it this way. Turkish Airlines spent $4.8 million on 1 minute of reel, essentially, for the Super Bowl. So maybe it wasn't meant for people like me or you who already are like in the know about this. Maybe it's for people who are like, oh, I'm watching the Super Bowl. I don't normally see comic stuff. And then I'm like, wait a second, he said his name is Bruce Wayne. What's going on? And then they see Lex Luthor and they're like, that's not fucking Lex Luthor!
I'm very much in the same way. Like, he better start looking more like Lex Luthor by the time that movie ends.
It would be fun because Lex Luthor initially has hair in a lot of the backstories. Yeah. I just imagine him like just going, ah! like pulling it all out.
Well, like in one of the earlier versions, it was because Superman like built him a lab because he wanted to be like a science guy.
Yeah.
And something in the lab exploded. And he was like, "Oh, curse you, Superman, for bringing me such a wonderful gift that I misused for my own heinous purposes, thus losing my hair. Curse you, Superman." So hopefully it's a little bit better than that.
Hopefully it's... But all I've gotten from the Lex Luthor so far is, I should be the hero of the city. I paid for this damn city after he fucked it up.
So that's something that's interesting, is like, we recognize our hero, Superman. I'm like, what do you mean hero?
Yeah.
How was he a hero in any way, shape, or form? He just sort of 1% unfucked up the situation, but it was still 99% fucked.
Yeah, basically.
By the end of that movie. Like, the end of that movie was like the end of a Megas XLR episode. Pretty much the entire city is decimated, and it's just like, oh, by the next movie, everything's fine again. I'm just going on my merry way. Never mind my family that died a couple of years ago. I'm perfectly fine. Hello, Superman, hello! I hope they put up a statue in your honor. There are some interesting, and I feel like we're kind of just shitting on everything right now, but there are some interesting things about this trailer, the 2 trailers. So we do get to see that Lex Luthor has indeed come in to Metropolis, and he is basically paid to have Metropolis brought back up. That means he's going to have connections, and he's going to have a lot of favors that people are going to owe him. He's going to have his hand in basically everything. He's basically going to own the city. So that part of it, I'm cool with. That's establishing Lex Luthor in Metropolis. Okay, great. And then when we go to Gotham, We see the opera house where potentially it was the same opera house where Bruce's parents were killed.
Yeah.
We see some of the worst parts of the city are now turned into nightlife zones.
Yeah.
And we also see Ace Chemicals, which of course that's where the Joker became the Joker.
Yes.
And then
nice
we
one.
see a shot that's very reminiscent of the Dark Knight. One of the Dark Knight posters from the Christian Bale universe, the Christopher Nolan Christian Bale. Remember, like it just showed like windows, and then Batman's just standing in front of him, right?
Yeah.
And so we see almost like an exact shot of that with Bruce Wayne stepping forward, but you see the Ace Chemicals right off to the side, like it's bright green neon, and everything else is just kind of like regular bland city. So that was kind of cool. Is it just me, or did it seem like Ben Affleck really didn't want to be in those commercials? He just looks really grumpy, like, the entire time.
Well, this Bruce Wayne is really grumpy.
It's like, man, some shit's been going down lately.
It's like, do you know how much this fucking cost? You had to rebuild the Daily Planet.
You see the satellite you knocked out, dude?
Yeah, so he's pissed.
Yeah.
So he's like, fuck, we gotta pay for this shit somehow.
Well,
Turkish Airlines. Come
on in, man. That was another interesting thing too, is that during that commercial they say, "Oh, and you might have the chance to meet a local celebrity." I'm like,
yeah.
So Batman's considered like a cool guy in this universe?
He's
like,
a vigilante, damn it!
No, that brings up an interesting question. Like, is that just like for fluff of the trailer, or is that like an actual thing where it's just like, "Oh no, Batman, he's cool."
Well, if this is an older Batman, which it is, then maybe he's gotten to the point where he's gained the affection of the city, and he's not just like the scary, spooky guy who fights bad people.
Yeah. So, I mean, that basically wraps up. We're not going to be talking about Deadpool because we're going to be doing a full rundown after we see the movie. But just to, like, the Deadpool trailer was great. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to it.
I will not watch it.
Yeah. Dustin's not going to watch it.
I'm going in blind on this one.
Yeah.
I'm going in blind to Deadpool.
It's going to be good.
Oh, man.
It's going to be good.
So
I'm
excited.
hoping.
So excited.
All right, guys, and that wraps it up for the Super Bowl trailers. If you like this content and you want to see more, please hit that subscribe button. Like, comment, and subscribe to the Super Geek Friends so we can keep making content like this. And hey, if we missed anything, and if you want to talk about more of the stuff that you saw in the trailers, please comment down below. All we ask is that you be nice to each other. We're all geeks here, so let's just keep it geeky, all right? Until next time, I'm Chad.
And I'm Dustin.
And see you later, guys.